Hi folks, Elliot here from Forma. We've got the Infinity guys down today to look at our Forma range, specifically the adventure boots. Let's get into it. Today we're specifically going to be looking at the adventure range for Forma. As an Italian brand, going for quite some time now. They're very well known for this section of their range. Specifically here, the adventure. This is one of the products they're most renowned for. This product has been, as it is, unchanged for 21 years, which really says something.
That is insane. So looking at the boots themselves, they have the 3 buckles that you'd want for an adventure boot. Mm-hmm. Is it not as strict in terms of movement compared to like a motocross boot? So you have a bit more freedom in these boots?
Exactly, that's one of the reasons these are as popular as they are, is the element of comfort that you get. So it's a really good blend between having a road boot and an adventure boot. So for example, the sole's a bit softer, it's a bit more comfortable for walking. It's not specifically just a riding boot, it's not specifically performance oriented. So as you say, you have that protective element, you have the adventure styling to it, but you have all the perks that you'd need for a road boot. So really gives you the best of both worlds. Yeah,
so it's quite nice. You've got like a shin plate there again, against maybe a kickback from your Kickstarter, or maybe the branches or any sort of protection up in the forefront there.
Yeah.
You've also got a nice little accordion stretch panel there just to give that added comfort.
Exactly.
Better seal maybe. Could you touch on this Dry-Tex? Is that there?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So Dry-Tex is Forma's variant of their waterproof membrane. So all of the range offers Dry-Tex. It's a very well-rounded membrane, so it offers a really good level of waterproofing in comparison to some of the other options that may be available on the market.
The leather material is really quite nice in terms of its finish. Got like embossed. Is that called embossed?
That is embossed.
Embossed, yeah. Yeah, nice little details, reflective detail there, kind of. But overall, when you say like the fit of it, how would you compare it? Is it like quite a nice, comforting sort of feel, or is it quite rigid at first? Or
it's very comfortable. Again, it definitely lends itself to be more of a road boot. So we wouldn't potentially recommend this for hard adventure riding.
Right.
If you're enduro, if you've got sharper pegs, this wouldn't be the boot for you. This is the boot for everyone, or for the people who want a bit of everything. So you have that comfort there. The shoe itself fits very well to narrow to mid-range feet, so potentially if you have wider feet, well, it may be worth looking at one of the other options, but as a sort of standard fit, this is perfect. And it's good you've picked up on the leather as well, so this is proper full grain leather as opposed to anything synthetic, which might be used obviously in some competitive products. So again, gives a very well-rounded product.
Again, very quite traditional in terms of its form. Yeah. The buckle's adjustable, so you can adjust the customize the sort of overall fit depending on how thick or thin your calves maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So price point for this?
Price point for these, RRP, they are $249.99. So an incredibly competitive price point for that. In terms of bang for your buck, there's nothing that will beat that.
Again, you can get this in the black colorway as well, if you're not a fan of like the kind of, what would you call that brown, like a tobacco brown, or would it be like just a nice brown?
Oh, well, you can call it anything, can't you?
Yeah,
everyone's got their own way of saying it, but yeah, brown's, it's a nice brown.
It's a nice brown. Okay. What boot do you want to move on to next?
Well, I think it'd be right to go on to the Adventure Low now.
Sure.
So this is the shorter variant of the Forma Adventure Dry. Of course, offers the same perks as to the Dry-Tex membrane, same full grain leather, same sole. You get the adjustable straps, of course. You're missing one because you haven't got as much boot, but of course that is then reflected in the price as well. Yeah. So these are $215 as opposed to the $250 of the Adventure Dry. Of course, again, a very competitive price point for the product it is.
Just to quickly touch on it, the ratings for these, if you're actually interested in them, is this is going to be 2 across the board, and so is this. So this does meet that requirement of being a little bit higher.
Yes.
So you can have that level 2 rather than just the 1 on that rating. But yeah, super sturdy boots. Next one.
Next one, it would probably be a good idea to have a look at our Terra. So this is our Terra Evo. Terra Evo Dry. So again, offers the Dry-Tex membrane, but this is a boot that's potentially more catered to those who are a bit more of an adventure rider as opposed to a road rider. So as you see, a couple of the different positions with this boot. So for example, you have the brace on the back, which will obviously protect you more against the sideways flex. You also have the stitched sole instead, which is more catered towards the harder adventure riding, so this will hold up better against dedicated pegs. And in terms of the design of the boot, of course, lends itself that way too.
So you say dedicated pegs, I know these are going to be like heavy, like metal, big pegs, the ones that are
exactly
meant for grip. So this is catered for that?
Yes, more
okay,
so,
cool.
More so.
Yeah. Again, another stylish sort of boot. You have I keep going back to the embossed nature of the leather. I feel like it's really cool because normally it's now just printed on leather, like materials and stuff, but this is actually like just that extra touch where you can see it's going to be there for a long time. Yeah. It's not going to wear down or fade away in that sort of nature. But yeah, same leather?
Same leather, yeah, so very, very high quality full grain leather. Again, it's great that you've picked up on a few of the points, such as the embossing. You know, Forma as a brand is a very traditional Italian brand. You see that in their products. Everything's European made. Massive, massive attention to detail. And you know, you can see that in all aspects of the products, and especially in some of these key products here, like the Terra.
I quite like it in the bracelet, you have this bit that's flattened off as well. So you kind of see that in the more motocross sort of styled boot, but there's a little detail there. So I'm guessing that's just for grip, not grip, or...
Yes, yeah, for longevity, for it being more robust, and yeah, of course, that will give you an element of grip to it as well.
Cool. So in terms of fit, just one more thing to go on to. I guess it's going to be a little bit stiffer than the one we just previously spoke about.
That will always be the trade-off, won't it? You know, you always have to choose. You won't be able to have the most comfortable boot with the most rigidity. Yeah. Obviously, those two things just don't go together. So you have to be keen as to what style of boot that you want. You have to sort of take into consideration the pros and the cons, and pick the boot based off that. So of course, as we said, the Adventure will be the most comfortable adventure boot you can possibly have, but it may not be suitable for those hardcore adventure riding outings that you're going for. The Terra, of course, with the stitch sole, with the extra bracing, it will not be as comfortable as the Adventure, but it does offer that extra protection. You can use it in that space, and in relation to the other competitors in this space, you're still probably more comfortable than that.
Exactly. I was going to just touch on that point as well. So like this is for your more hard adventure, but then again, you've also got the Forma range where you have the MX stuff, which is obviously going to be a lot stiffer. But if you're in those fields of riding, those sort of kind of adventures that you want to go on, or you go motocross, enduro, trails, or whatever, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into anyway. But in comparison, like you said, to the other brands, that's going to be quite comfortable.
Yes. Yeah. Especially again for those who have a sort of standard to narrow foot shaping as well. The brand lends itself perfectly. Yeah,
it's just another one of those that you can add onto your list to try on and give it a go per se when you're in the shops once when they're in our stores and stuff. Or I think Camberley is going to be the one that has them the most, because we have our MX section and what have you. But again, it's just more options like that. So some people might fit a brand better than another, and this one's definitely one I feel like will cater for a more well-rounded variety of people. Because previously we came down here before, Lewis and I tried them on, and we thought they were just super comfortable compared to some other brands. We'll not name and shame. No. but we did find them like super comfortable, and the overall finish just feels like top notch. Yeah. Once you have them in your hands, you'll feel it, and you'll realise when you compare it to other sort of brands that you're holding, it's just they're like, yeah, when they say they've made a decent boot, like a really good boot, they do mean it.
An interesting point that I've just remembered actually on that point of being relatively well-rounded.
Yeah.
Something about Forma that will help very much, especially for those out there who may struggle for boot sizing, is the size of the range. So the Adventure, for example, we go up to size 50.
Wow, okay.
Size 50 in this, and from 39 as well. So, we have a very, very wide range of sizes. So if you're on the, the smaller end, the higher end, of foot sizing. You got every base covered in that sense, don't you? Right, so that's just a quick brush over the new Forma brand that you've now acquired yourself. Yeah. Thank you for talking us through the ones that we're going to be getting, and also potentially some that we might be able to later down the line. We never know. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Absolutely. But yeah, thank you for taking time out of your day to do this. No problem at all. I'm just going to wrap it up for the boys now, I think, and boys and girls that are watching. Perfect. Thank you for watching the video. Comment down below what you think of the Forma range. Which one has really piqued your interest? Leave it down in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, ride safe, and we'll see you all soon. Forma. He's been holding in that cough for ages. I felt bad.